Welcome to Hype episode 40. Happy New Year, everybody!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
It was a darker time when we last broadcast. We were going through the interview drama.
No.
God,
And Voldemort's birthday has come and gone, and nobody cared.
Oh, celebrate! Come and gone. I saw him tweeting the other day. So, yeah, this is our first episode of 2015, and our last for a little while, but I will explain that at the end of the show. We're going to start today talking about the Oscars, because obviously that's the big story of the day, and also this week, and then we'll also get into some Golden Globe talk, since those happened last weekend. And we have some news to discuss, and then at the end, I thought we could review Marima and my...
Review Marima. Let's do that. Roast.
She has new glasses.
Yay!
Oh, live on air.
We both did features predicting headlines in 2015. I did an article, the headlines we're not looking forward to seeing in 2015, the ones that we're fearing seeing in 2015, and she did the headlines that we are looking forward to seeing, hoping to see in 2015. So we'll discuss those, because there are some really interesting ones.
They're very fun. I love reading these every year.
It was fun to do. And one of them, some people have been saying to me, oh, actually, I want that to happen. What are you talking about?
Uh-oh.
So we can discuss that later on. I'm just going to copy and paste, cut and paste it from my article to your article, Marima.
It was funny reading some of these because I'd be like, "Oh my God, is that happening?" Like my brain wouldn't stop thinking like, "This is all fake." Like this is all fake.
So let's start.
Well, it looked so profesh. So
Yeah.
It does. We're great graphic designers. So let's start with the Oscars. It was held early this morning. They always do this at, they were hyping this up. They were like, we're going to mix things up this year. We're going to announce all of the Oscars on nominations on television instead of just half of them, which, okay, is cool. But how about they mix it up so they don't have to do this at 5:30 a.m. Pacific time? This is being brought.
Yeah.
It's never made sense.
It's all for the morning shows. I read an article on this a year or two ago. It's just for the
Oh, so they have the news. I got it.
I mean, why not make it a primetime event? It's just, it makes no sense. I feel like I've been up forever, and it's only 12:30.
Yeah.
Anyway, here are, so what ended up happening was the Grand Budapest Hotel and Birdman led the nominees with 9 nominations each, and The Imitation Game followed closely with 8 nominations each. The best picture, the nominees are American Sniper, Birdman, which apparently is called Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. I did not know this. Did anybody?
I think that title is more intriguing. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't.
But it's annoying, like, during these nominees, like, because they got nominated 9 times, and this title is being read 9 times. I'm like...
The live bloggers were probably pretty happy.
Yeah.
Get some extra time.
So, American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash. So there's 8 pictures in the running this year.
How many have you guys seen? I've seen 1, and that's Budapest Hotel. Most of them aren't out here yet, even.
I've seen 4. No, 5.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm so impressed by myself.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen 1, and I'm embarrassed to see
3,
that.
4, 5. I've
Which
seen
one?
5.
Which one, Andrew?
The Grand Budapest
I saw that
That one's great.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
I really want to see The Theory of Everything and
Yeah,
Imitation
me too.
Game.
Yeah.
And most of the other ones.
Theory of
Whiplash is
Everything's
really
not that
good.
Yeah.
Whiplash is
Boyhood
great.
should be amazing. Was Boyhood nominated?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was what?
Boyhood, I'm definitely going to watch that, because
Boyhood's incredibly good. Yeah.
that one at the Golden Globes is just 2 hours and 45 minutes, and
Yeah.
that to me is just like, I can't, that's such a big...
It doesn't feel long though. You'll be
It's a commitment. Yeah. There's no Lord of the Rings, but it's a lot.
No, but Boyhood's going to win, right? I mean, that is the movie of the year.
I mean, how could it not? They spent 12 years making it.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible movie. Yeah.
Theory of Everything does have a lot of hype, though.
Theory of
I feel
Everything,
like Theory.
I didn't think was that good a movie. Like, the performances are amazing, but
Yeah.
the actual film itself, compared to some of the others, I wouldn't see it winning.
I think Theory of Everything will get Eddie Redmayne an Oscar, but I don't think it'll get Best
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so too.
It did get him a Golden Globe.
Surely, like, Grand Budapest Hotel would be the main competition.
Yeah, maybe. It was good. Yeah.
I didn't like it. I don't know why.
Oh,
but
I love
Wes
it.
Anderson
I
is
love
a
I'm obsessed with Wes
you know.
Anderson.
Yeah, I've always loved Wes.
Yeah.
To win for cinematography, at least.
The problem with the Oscars this year is that a lot of these films aren't major.
Yeah.
They're all kind of
indie.
smaller films.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's been some speculation that this may hurt the ratings because people don't necessarily care about these movies just because they haven't seen them.
I think that's almost always the case. Like, there's always like maybe a few movies that people see, and then the other ones like almost nobody's seen. But
Do you think that this has something to do with, I mean, not to get into a whole discussion, but most of the major network, like studio big name films are all superhero films and action films. So do you think this has something to do with the fact that they don't nominate superhero films, so they go for the critically acclaimed, and this year all the critically acclaimed are smaller? Like, is there...
yeah, I think there's part of it. Guardians of the Galaxy got something for costume, I believe.
But that's it, yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
That should
I
have
agree
gotten
with
Best Picture, I think. It was amazing.
Some well-known films are scattered around the Oscar nominees. We have The Hobbit for achievement in sound editing.
I think what's
Interstellar.
different this year is even if the films are smaller, almost all of them are incredible. Like, almost all of them are incredible movies. A lot of times, even though there's like, oh, it's an Oscar film, you're supposed to like it, even though not a lot of people have seen it. Like, this year, almost all of these movies I loved. So, like I said, I haven't seen American Sniper, Birdman, or Selma yet, so I'll have to see those three. But other than that, the other ones were just incredible, I thought. Which isn't always the case. Like, I'm always kind of like, yes, I understand it's an Oscar-worthy movie, but it's not always something that I'll love to watch, you know?
Mm-hmm. One of the big... There are a couple of big stories today about the Oscars, and Josh actually just published a piece about the snubs and surprises of the 2015 Oscar nominations. I think the biggest one...
Thanks.
The biggest one is Kyle sneezing. That the Lego Movie got snubbed in the Best Animated Feature category.
Yeah.
That seems like impossible.
I know.
Yeah, so the films that did make it are... I'm trying to find it in the list.
Here are some I've never heard of.
Big
It's
Hero
not
6.
because it had... Sorry, it's not because it had live action at the end? Like, it's not disqualified or something?
No. Big Hero 6, The Box Trolls, How to Train Your Dragon 2,
I love
Song
that.
of the Sea, and The Tale of Princess Kaguya. The Lego. Now, I heard today that it's actually a different pool of people who are voting for Best Animated Feature Film. So that may have had something to do with it, but at the least we shouldn't blame the voting academy on a whole. Not that really matters.
Neil Patrick Harris's fault.
I mean, you know, I saw Big Hero 6. I loved it. I saw How to Train Your Dragon 2. I loved that.
So good.
The other three I have not seen. The Lego Movie I liked. I don't love the Lego Movie. I think it's definitely good, though. I love Will Ferrell.
See, I thought the Lego Movie was better than Big Hero 6 in terms of, like, Big Hero 6 was very predictable, and it was very Disney. Like, of course, okay, someone's gonna die, okay, and then in the end, everything's like, okay. And the Lego Movie was, like, way better. It was way more entertaining. Like, the whole live-action part came out of nowhere. That was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Big Hero 6 more than the Lego Movie.
I love the story behind Lego Movie.
Yeah, I didn't love
How
it.
It started as a commercial, and they just decided to go with it and make a movie. I thought that was awesome.
Not to mention, it's just beautiful looking.
Yeah.
Visually. So,
And Jennifer Aniston got snubbed.
yes.
Very
for
sad.
Cake, right?
I know, yeah.
But who's seen Cake? Like, nobody's seen Cake, so is that really a snub?
No.
No, but it felt like her time. You know?
And she had been promoting herself a lot, you know,
Yeah.
throughout the last couple of weeks. or months.
Well, I think Angelina Jolie was hoping for a nom too, right? For
Yeah, that would have been.
Broken.
a nom.
What about the Selma director?
Oh yes, that's a big snub as well.
Like, wasn't that a... Yeah,
Mhm.
and the
And how
lead...
white
from
everyone
Selma.
is.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
really
That's not
insane.
not a new phenomenon, but yes.
Well, no, but
That has been a hot topic today. That the fact that all 10 nominated lead actors are white.
Yeah.
There's not one black person or any other race. This has happened twice in 20 years, which is interesting. So,
Wow.
it is slightly uncommon, but still, the fact remains that these people who are voting, they're very largely white, older men,
Yeah.
and they get to decide. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And there are
No.
less roles for non-whites.
This isn't
Well,
politics.
yeah, but when you have a film like Selma in the running, then
You would think
it's
Someone
surprising.
would get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are saying, this is. I mean, I think everybody's right, but we also have to keep in mind that 12 Years a Slave won a lot of Oscars. What, last year?
Yeah, so that's
So
gonna
what?
last a couple of
They're good for a few years now.
Filled their quota for 10 years. Like, what's that mean?
My point is
No,
just
I agree with you.
there's
Right, yeah.
they're not permanently against
No.
any actor who isn't white or anything like that. So
Yeah, like you said, this has only happened twice in 20 years, which I actually think that's more surprising than the fact that everybody's white this year. I would have thought this would have happened many more times.
I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
me
stand up
too.
for the old white people. They need help. They need support.
Yeah. Yeah, that minority, they're really struggling.
Right.
So one of the funnier moments. This was worth getting up for this morning. The Oscar president was announcing the second half of the nominees with Chris Pine, and one of the names came up, and instead of saying Dick Pope, he said Dick Poop, which is just hilarious.
Yeah.
And later, somebody from the LA Times managed to get a hold of Dick Pope to ask about this. And he said something along the lines of, if this is what people discuss on Twitter, I'm never joining Twitter. He was nominated for cinematography on Mr. Turner. It's the second time in his career he's been recognized by the Oscars. But it was so funny. She just went, Dick Poop, Pope, Pope.
Who said it, Pine or the other guy? Oh, the president. Sorry.
The president, Cheryl Boone, I believe her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Cheryl Boone Isaacs. It was I got a kick out of it, and everybody's been talking about it today. It makes it exciting. The Oscar nominations are so boring in general anyway. The only other thing semi-funny that happened was when JJ tried to crack a joke when he was like, and coming up, an actor named Chris Pine. Like, oh, ha, 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 very funny. Like, one of those we don't know him jokes.
Yeah.
And those are the Oscars. Anything else anybody wants to say?
I should probably see more of these movies. at
Yeah,
some
right.
point.
Yeah, me
Same.
too.
Always makes me
This
feel
is one
bad.
year. I think this is one year people should see a lot of these movies. A lot of years, not so much. But I think this year there's almost all of them are great films. I can't speak for the 2 or 3 I haven't seen, but almost all of them are definitely worth seeing.
Mhm.
All right. Well, like I said, the Golden Globes happened this past weekend. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler hosted for their third and final time.
Mm.
Best drama went to Boyhood. Best comedy or musical went to The Grand Budapest Hotel. Now, the Golden Globes aren't necessarily ever telling of the Oscars because it's a completely different system. But, all right, Selena, thank you for tweeting a picture of me on Twitter.
Sorry, I just want to.
Oh, that's a great photo. It's a
I
good,
know, right?
my dog's in it. It's perfect.
You can take it down.
What was I saying? No, it's fine. I'm just kidding. So, of course, Golden Globes do film and television. So on television, The Affair won Best Drama. I love this show. A lot of people were shocked that this won up against shows like Game of Thrones and House of Cards.
Nice that something else wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something new.
I like to see something change. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who wants
Yeah.
the same stuff every year? Best animated film went to How to Train Your Dragon 2 over the Lego Movie, so, you know.
You know
they
what
were
was
racing.
surprising was the Jane the Virgin win. That like caught me off guard. I was like, whoa.
That was the CW's first win and also first nomination ever.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's really exciting.
Wow. Didn't I see something like every TV award went to someone who hadn't won before?
Yes.
Or at least like the actors.
Something like that.
That's
Every
amazing.
actor, I think, hadn't won. Yeah, it is.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Best TV comedy went to Transparent. This is the excellent Amazon series starring Jeffrey Tambor. He plays a man who is becoming a woman. Really good series. So that one best TV comedy, and I thought one other, but maybe not. I think I'm confusing. It was something else.
Yeah,
but
didn't he win?
that's what I was wondering.
He
Jeffrey
won.
I
Tambor
thought,
won.
yeah,
Yeah.
he won.
And the show won, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the actor won and the show won.
See, I was thinking he was
Yeah.
nominated in drama, which Kevin Spacey won for. It's weird
Yeah,
how
his
these
comedy.
places.
Yeah.
The comedy thing
That aren't
seems
comedies.
so arbitrary on the Globes.
And the fact that they don't nominate comedies, like
Yeah.
mainstream comedies.
It is interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
I don't know. We don't have to really get into a debate about this because I don't know how much time this would take. But I wonder where we're going with calling online series television shows, like House of Cards and Transparent. These are two shows that are on Netflix and Amazon respectively. How long are we going to keep calling this film and television? Are these television shows? Should they be called something else? Should we have a broader name for all this?
Some kind of shows like serialized series, just series, or
And
small.
then you wonder, where do you draw the line? I mean, what if it's a show that's only on the internet, not on Netflix or Amazon? It's on.
Yeah, I hate
Yeah,
to
it's like-
them to fragment that though. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
dropping them down a notch.
But you're right. I mean, at some point they're gonna have to, unless they just keep calling them TV shows, and it's just one of those things. They can just call them series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
the
there's going to be
series,
so many of
episodic.
them at some point. You think like there's going to be just too many to put in.
Yeah.
There's
Because right now we have like a few that are like seeping up, but
I mean, now
imagine over the next few years it'll be a lot more.
they separate some award shows separate cable and network, right? Or no? Am I making that up?
Some award shows? Yes.
Oh.
Like the People's Choice Award, I think.
Yeah.
Network. That
So
show,
maybe-
though, is ugh.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler did good. I don't think it was their best of the three. I think the first two were better. The
Yeah.
first movies that they did.
I liked
I thought
your
it was
Margaret.
pretty funny there.
It was funny.
Yeah, I love them so much.
What
I
is-
just didn't think they were on there that much. Like I just never felt like they were the main part of the show.
That's
I don't know,
last
I
year's
just watched them
Oscars as
all,
well.
and then I quit.
It was
Alright.
like the North Korean lady, fake
Yeah,
lady, was on there more than her, more than them.
hysterical.
the North Korean lady played by Margaret Cho? That was.
That's who, remember we were trying to figure out who it was. I was like, I knew that lady.
I heard. I saw an interview with her the next day about that. She was proud of it, and she was happy to work with Amy and Tina on that. So, but yeah.
Meryl looked
I
so uncomfortable
could've done
when she had to
without
hold up that magazine. She was like, "Oh, okay."
So moving on now to some news. There was a big story this week concerning Spider-Man and the Avengers. On the last episode, we talked about how a Sony leak had revealed that Sony and Marvel were discussing a potential transfer of Spider-Man into the Avengers world, which is where he's supposed to be. But apparently those talks had fallen through, but Sony was going to have a Spidey Summit, I believe this month or next. It's very soon if it hasn't happened
Yeah, it was
already.
supposed to be this month, I think.
Okay, so the Spidey Summit may be happening right now as we speak. Now, a rumor came out this week from a sometimes reputable source, Latina Review, who said that the deal is done, but it's too late for Spider-Man to appear in the Avengers Civil War, where he was rumored to be appearing. So instead,
Which was actually what the directors had talked about. They had already discussed this storyline. So It looked like it fell through during the talks for this movie, and then, like you said, now it's too late for them to get him in this film.
So
Which
the
is
next one
yeah.
could be in is the Avengers Infinity War Part 1, which could
Which
be
is 2018.
2008.
That could have been a surprise, if they didn't, if they somehow managed to keep that secret, that would be amazing.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, it still could be because we don't know that this is true.
Post credits.
Oh, you mean like appear? No, I think he's gonna have a bigger role because they're gonna have to cast him.
Hey, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it would just be fun.
It'd be one thing if like Andrew Garfield was still going to be Spider-Man, but
It just
part of
pops up.
part of this report says
Pops
that
down.
it's not going to be him. So that's disappointing to a lot of people.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
not.
fun.
No matter what the rumors are, he's not going to play Spider-Man again.
Oh, that's sad.
That is sad. I missed the. Where's the Amazing Spider-Man 3?
Right?
Set for 2018.
No, 2016, but it ain't happening.
Yeah, so that's the whole mess going on there with Sony. And
Tobey Maguire gets 3 Spider-Man movies, and Andrew Garfield gets 2.
Maybe
Imagine
Tobey
if they
Maguire comes
cast
back.
Tobey Maguire. Yeah.
I
That
mean,
would be a
That would
surprise.
be a surprise.
Garfield.
Oh my God, Selena, get out of my head.
Andrew Garfield could have had 3, but they rebooted the series too soon, and
Yeah,
the movies
they
just
did.
weren't great.
No.
Avatar 2. Speaking of films that's never going to happen,
This is ridiculous.
Avatar 2 has been delayed again. I legitimately believe this is like the 4th time that Avatar 2 has been pushed.
Yeah.
Uh,
The first one came out in 2009, so we're looking at a long wait now.
it's an
Oh
interesting
my
story to me.
God.
So now instead of Christmas 2016, it's going to be out Christmas 2017 until they announce next year that it's been delayed to Christmas 2018.
I know.
I just don't understand it. It's just-
They announced last year, James Cameron announced that he had 3 sets of screenwriters working on the next 3 movies simultaneously, so the stories can all connect and so that he can actually make these movies happen. But apparently that hasn't worked out too well because now the sequel's already been delayed.
I think what
yeah,
he's
maybe
trying
you
to
should
do
work on
is-
one.
he's trying to make some kind of epic, and in a way it's a good idea because the Avatar, it's so beautiful that if they had a good story to go with it that wasn't just a Pocahontas type of story, then it might be really good. But it's
Yeah.
just really hard to imagine, especially after all this time.
Yeah, it just seems like it. Even though I
I
know
have
it's
a
going to make lots of
question.
money, I just don't care about it.
No
Because
one cares about it.
I just don't think anyone even cares
Yeah.
anymore. Like I feel like they missed their chance. Although I know that it'll end up making tons of money, I just feel like they missed their chance to be, like you said, a really big, interesting story.
And maybe we're wrong. Maybe it is going to be amazing and blow everybody away.
Yeah.
But it just, it
He's got some
seems-
voodoo magic that he puts on his movies that
Yeah.
make
And
tons of money.
it's kind of going to be a reboot at this point because they're calling the new set of movies a trilogy, even though the first one is the
Oh yeah,
sequel.
I didn't even think about that.
So it's like its own separate
But it's
thing.
the same actors. Like they have deals.
It is, yeah.
Maybe
And then I
by
predicted they
trilogy-
split the last one into 2.
Yeah, right. By trilogy, he probably means that like there's a story beginning in the first one that ends by
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes
It's interesting because it's big enough where Disney's like, all right, we'll make a land for you, like at Disney World. They're just
Yeah,
gonna
it's
have a
like,
whole
who
land.
cares?
Like, no one cares that they're
No.
getting their own land. It's
which has been moving very
Yeah.
slow as well. right?
yeah.
I was going to say something else about this. Oh, maybe it's going to be beneficial to James Cameron that it has been so long that people are just going to be naturally curious, like, oh my gosh, Avatar is back. I got to check it out. Sort of like, Anchorman 2. There was a huge gap between the two movies. And part of the reason I was so excited is
They're so similar.
it's been so long. What?
And Dumb and Dumber.
Because they're so similar.
yeah.
Oh God.
I'm just saying my
Maybe there's,
point
like
is that.
a new audience.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's a good point, Andrew. Very good point.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Go back to sleep, Marima.
Well, like the 10-year-olds that weren't around for the first movie and didn't care about it are going to be like 16 or 17 by the time the new one comes out, and they'll be like, "Ooh, okay."
Yeah, and the new
Yeah.
fans are gonna be so annoying. They're gonna be like, I love the new trilogy more.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna
Does
care.
everybody believe that we're going to see all 3 of these Avatar movies come out?
No.
If they film, are they gonna film them together? No.
Together. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, all three
Oh,
at
they
the same
are?
time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, never mind.
That's probably why it keeps getting
yes.
delayed, is that they can't get all 3 scripts done.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
Well, the first film made $2.8 billion, so it's like the studio is probably like, we don't really care. Whenever you finish is fine.
And it was beautiful. I mean, I think Avatar to date is the only film that I've actually enjoyed seeing in 3D.
Yeah, their 3D work was fantastic. They didn't shove it at your face. They didn't have cheesy effects. It was just kind of like the vibe was nice. Yeah.
It felt natural.
It did feel more
Yeah.
natural.
I didn't like it.
Oh.
Yeah, the movie is terrible, but it looked
Yeah.
great.
It did look great.
I didn't like the 3D either. I'm morally opposed.
Yeah, I'm
In all
too. In
circumstances.
general.
I am as
Yeah.
well.
They're gonna bump ticket prices up more, like IMAX 3D for Avatar, because it wasn't like, think of all the theaters that weren't around for Avatar 1.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean 3D technology is obviously advanced now.
And they're probably building like new cameras and stuff.
Yeah, James Cameron, he's so cool. I'm waiting for Titanic too. I'm so
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather watch
The
that.
reboot.
Yeah, the reboot.
They should reboot Titanic.
They should just make it with Leo and
It's the new Titanic.
their current ages.
There's already a movie called Titanic 2, though, so they need a new name.
Oh yeah.
Titanic again.
Titanic back.
It sinks again.
It's a new Titanic.
Jack doesn't die.
I instead of Kate Winslet, I want Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
But Jonah Hill and Leah?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
nice.
really good.
And then it'd be more
modern
believable.
take on Titanic.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Like in Doctor Who, it's a spaceship called Titanic 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody on that boat
Precious.
had to be gay. There was no way everybody was straight.
Yeah, diversity.
Yeah. Let's talk a little Star Wars news. There's an interesting tidbit as George Lucas promotes his new animated film, Strange Magic, that he was planning on creating Star Wars Episode 7 before Disney bought.
Starring Jar Jar Binks. And
So
his
everybody
children.
is sort of saying, wow, we dodged a bullet with this one.
Yeah.
Because he was setting up a whole new trilogy, and he had even reached out. We heard this previously, but now it's kind of being reconfirmed, this part. He had reached out to the old stars about coming back on board for a new trilogy, specifically calling it Episode 7, he said. So
It's interesting, and once the movie's out, it'll be interesting to see his story ideas and stuff, but I'm so happy that it's someone else.
mhm.
Yeah, I liked what he said. He was like, the one thing he regretted about Star Wars was that he couldn't enjoy the experience. Like he said, I never got blown out of my seat when the ship came over the screen. And he's like, in the next one, I'll be able to watch it just like everybody else. And I was like, that actually makes sense because he's probably never really got to enjoy it because they have to sit there and edit it for a year and do all the CGI and everything.
Yeah.
So I
Jumping.
think sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
We had talked about how he didn't watch the trailer or whatnot, and I feel like he's kind of staying in that same sort of thing where he's like, I just want to enjoy this movie as a audience member, like I never got to do.
Yeah, I think we incorrectly read him when he said that he didn't watch the trailer. He just.
Oh, really?
Well, I think people are saying, "Oh, what an asshole!" He
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
watch
yeah,
the
yeah.
trailer. Why is he pretending like he doesn't care? But
He was
really,
just saying he didn't watch it,
he wants to go in
online.
fully surprised. Oh, right. He wanted to watch in a theater. That's what he said. Yeah.
And then we said he has his own theater and he could watch it.
Yeah. Why couldn't you just walk downstairs and do it?
Yeah.
I want to see it with real people, not my fake robots downstairs.
So jumping back to Marvel a little bit, a new trailer was released for the Avengers: Age of Ultron. It is 1 minute and 41 seconds of a good amount of new material, I think, right, Josh?
Yep.
Was it a good trailer?
I thought it was good, not as good as the first one. I really enjoyed the first one, and the second one wasn't as exciting.
Mm-hmm. is it just because the first one it was like all new and?
I think so. Yeah, I think that it was. We were seeing a lot of things for the first time. We got to see Ultron for the first time, and this one, like we saw Ultron again, and that wasn't that exciting. We were hoping to see the Vision, which is who Paul Bettany will play. He'll be someone that's created another creation in the film, but we haven't seen him at all yet. We've seen concept art of him with the cape and the green and purple suit, I believe.
I think part of the problem with this new trailer was that it used the "No Strings on Me" song again.
Yeah, and it's like slowed it down even more. It was like I don't know.
It was even eerier.
Yeah.
There were great shots though. It was.
Yeah, there were some great shots. Yeah.
They picked a great time to debut, but it aired during the final college football match, and that sporting event was the most watched in cable history, like ever.
Yeah, like I was telling you, it was basically like another NFL commercial for them. So they
Without
got
the NFL price tag.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. They basically got a 2-for-1 this year. So because there will be a trailer, I assume, or a TV spot during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In February.
So this comes out in May, so we're only less than 4 months away now, which is kind of great.
Yeah, it feels like it came up pretty quick after feeling like it was a long ways off.
Yeah. Also coming out this year from Marvel is Ant-Man, and the first trailer for this came out. It looks good. It looks Marvel. It's fun. It pokes fun at itself, particularly with Scott Lang, who is played by Paul Rudd, asking, "Do I really have to be called Ant-Man?" The end. I'm paraphrasing, but it was a good trend. Are you guys excited for Ant-Man?
Yeah.
No.
Ant-Man.
I think I like ensemble superhero films better. Like I've only seen 2, but I like both of those.
Like,
Not Fantastic Four, I didn't like that, but the others, the big ones.
as someone who's like not known anything about Ant-Man whatsoever, like this, I'm like, okay.
Paul Rudd, I mean, the thing is, Paul Rudd is a lot like Ryan Reynolds in that he can either be really funny and really great, or really campy and really not that great.
Exactly.
I think
Like,
you're
when-
exactly right.
With him in the trailer, when
Yeah.
when there's this one scene where he goes, "Huh," I was like, was that supposed to be funny? Like, I don't.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, we're supposed to be laughing at this. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not very funny, you know.
So
Of course, this
I
is
don't
the
know.
film that. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. What was his name? The original director.
Edgar Wright.
Oh, Edgar Wright.
Oh yeah, I get right.
Yeah.
He was working on this project for 10 years, and then him and Marvel just had some sort of agreement we still don't know the details about, and then he got replaced. And it was a really big surprise because, like I said, 10 years he was working on this project. So, people are a little worried about it. Without Edgar Wright,
More than a little.
it's Peyton Reed directing now. Can we trust Marvel? But I mean, with that, I am excited because it is Marvel, and Marvel's been doing some amazing films recently. So you've got to go out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's one that could surprise me, but I'm not 100% sold on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It just
feel like-
doesn't. It has to be funny. You know, that's
Yeah, I think that I have to really really think this is like a hilarious movie to say like I really enjoyed it. It can't be like another Iron Man or something where it's just superheroes and stuff. It'll have to be like a good story, and it'll have to be a funny story that kind of hits you in the heart because I think it's all about like his daughter's maybe sick and stuff like that. So I don't know what to expect.
I think it'll be a success, but I think it'll be Marvel's lowest successful film. I feel like it won't beat out Avengers or Iron Man or anything.
Yeah, as much as people like Paul Rudd, he's not that big of a star. Like we like him, but it's not like he's.
And is he lead role material? That's another question. You know.
Yeah, he's done well before in some leads, but not a lot. Not huge movies. So.
I think he's good casting, but I just think
he's
people
good casting,
are like, I think he can carry it. Like, I'm the first person to say I'm not at all excited about this. I think people are just very wary about it. because of the last minute replacement, but like you said, Andrew, that kind of creates an interest factor as well. So people will go and see it just to see what it's like now.
Some people are looking forward to Marvel movies, and that's fine this year. But I personally am looking forward to another smaller film. That's 50 Shades of Grey.
Ooh,
Yes.
a month away.
The
Easy hit.
the highly anticipated book-to-film adaptation. It was what, 2-3 years ago now that the books really blew up? I think it was 2012 that it really exploded.
That sounds about right.
No pun intended.
I just wanted to I just wanted to mention the soundtrack. It came out the other day, the track list. It's really interesting. There's some big name artists on here. Beyonce, which isn't a surprise because she's been in the trailers. Sia,
Sorry.
Ellie
Frank Sinatra.
Weekend. Right, but then you have songs like contributions from Frank Sinatra. This song that's included.
Rolling Stone?
Wow.
Stones.
What?
Someone
AWOL
needs money.
did a cover of a Bruce Springsteen song, I'm on Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Been out for a couple years. And then there's 2 tracks from the score at the end of the soundtrack from Danny Elfman, because he's writing the score. One is called
I
And
just
Then
saw the
Christmas.
names of them.
I assume that's like the main theme. And then the second score title is Did That
Did
Hurt?
that hurt?
Did that?
I can't wait for the rest of this.
I've got to
That's the
see
greatest
this.
thing I've
Like,
ever
I have
seen.
no clue what this book is about.
Oh,
and
you do.
I mean,
Without
I
having
know,
gone sex.
I know what it's. I know it's about. You know, crazy sex, but I have no clue about the story or anything. So I have to go to see.
Story? What?
I don't believe story is a large
love the
factor in
rating.
this.
I love the rating as R because of unusual behavior. It's like I've never seen this before.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised. I was really hoping for Rihanna's S&M to be on there, because that would have been like the perfect.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't get the rights.
That would have been perfect.
It would have been.
He should like have that play every time he walks into a room.
Yeah.
Maybe it's.
I mean, they are trying to tell, not to stick up for the movie or anything, but they are trying to tell a legitimate love story, so they probably don't
Did
want
you see them?
love story. So they
The two-
trying to tell a love story. I don't know if they're trying
Yeah.
to tell a legitimate love story.
Yes.
I don't
Did
know.
you guys like cringe whenever they both walked up on the Golden Globe stage together? They're like,
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was
so
together.
bad for them.
I was like, oh my god! I was like, this is
It
so
was
terrible.
like they looked like 2 strangers who had never met before as well.
Yeah.
Don't you think they're super uncomfortable? Like, is this gonna kill their careers? You know,
I
I
don't
think
know.
I feel
It
really
looked-
bad for them.
No, Jamie Dornan's got a ton
They
of
must
stuff.
be worried.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
I think people are laughing at them in Hollywood.
I think Jamie
that's
Dornan
why
can always go back to Once
No,
Upon a
no,
Time.
who
if
he
he
was.
fails.
He's like, I'm not in that movie.
I'm legitimately excited for 50 Shades of Grey. I haven't read the book.
Are you going to see it on
No.
Valentine's Day?
Maybe I'm
You're
gonna
gonna see it in the
now.
cinema?
I'm
Because
thinking
that
clearing my schedule up there and I'm
have
getting
to-
close to
I
where Twilight was set.
You have to live tweet your experience and tell us who's in line. Like, is it like
going
old
to.
men or is it like women? Like, what is it?
Absolutely. I want to go. I
are they
honestly
going
want
to
to
do
go
press
to.
screenings?
I want a packed theater full of women and see it all with them. It'd be
Yeah, see, I'm more
Why
curious
moms?
about the audience, I think,
Yay.
than anything else. Because like I always have these moms come up to me and who know me and they know I write about film. They're like, "Do you think the 50 Shades of Grey movie is going to be good?" I'm like, "Why the hell would I know if it's going to be good or not?" It's like I have no idea what this is about. But the audience is obviously still interested in this film.
I'm
you know?
sorry, I'm just imagining your life now. You walk down the street and all these moms.
Well, no, I know like friends of my moms, you know, that
Excuse me?
they know me and they
You
know what I
must
do,
know.
and so they're like, "Is it gonna be good?" It's like, who the hell knows?
Just
I
say
wanna
it.
Got an
see
R
it.
rating for unusual behavior. It should be great.
I
It's
want
gonna
to
be
see
like-
it at a press screening with like all these old dudes who usually are at them,
Oh,
like
yeah.
these old white guys,
Oh, yeah.
like over 50, and just see them be super uncomfortable. That would be hilarious.
Well, I
That'd
was
be
just
good.
gonna say this is gonna be just like Twilight, where the critics slam it,
Yep.
but
Mm.
fans will love it, and for that reason, it's a great movie. This is a movie where it doesn't matter what the critics think because it's not for them. They're not out to get an Oscar or a Golden Globe or even a People's Choice Award.
yeah.
They just want to appeal to the huge audience who read
Yep.
this book. There are millions of people who read these books.
And it's funny, it's similar. I didn't read any of the Twilights, but I started going to the films like 2 or 3 in, and I actually got into the movies because of the audience. Because the audiences were so crazed that I was like, I understand it. It was very similar to the experience I had with Harry Potter because that was something I actually cared about, and the buzz that you can feel is similar, and I think it's similar in all these things where there's so much excitement over these books to films.
Mm-hmm. What can I say? I'm very excited.
I don't know if I'm excited about the movie. I'm just excited to see what happens. I just want to see like what stories come out of this.
What's gonna happen?
Everything's gonna happen.
I would never. I mean, I'm probably not going to watch this film, but I definitely would not watch it in the cinema because I would just feel so strange.
Embarrassed?
I
Embarrassed?
know.
Or go, like,
watching
the
the
first
Pride.
time?
Not for me, but like for everyone. It's like collective embarrassment.
I think it's funny though. Like to me, watching people get excited about something that I don't care about. It's.
But I don't want them to get excited. That's what I'm
Oh, you
afraid
mean
of.
like sexually excited? Oh, I just meant like.
No, I know
excited.
what you mean. I know.
So let's talk a little Harry Potter now. There's big news this week. We've known for a while that the Harry Potter books are going to be republished starting at the end of this year, fully illustrated. We still aren't totally sure what fully illustrated means. Is there a new illustration every page, every few pages, or what? But we got a first look this week at 4 of the illustrations, one of Hagrid, one of Malfoy, one of Hermione, and then a sketch of Ron. They look amazing, these illustrations, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ron
Oh,
looks
yeah.
slightly off. Is that what you guys pictured Ron as?
No.
I
No.
mean,
Draco looks exactly like the movie.
I think they must have been influenced by the movie a little bit, right? Because
Yeah, I guess.
For
I
sure.
don't know.
They kind of
Hermione
look
looks
like
different.
they look like the parallel universe versions of the movie actors.
Yeah.
A little.
Except for Ron. Ron looks completely different.
He just looks kind of derpy, like so does Rupert Grint.
It looks like a big caricature of him. Yeah.
I just love how I don't think that Ron one is finished. That's just
No,
Yeah.
I don't think you can judge on that.
Oh,
but the
yeah.
Hermione
Yeah.
one is so beautiful.
But these sketches are so detailed. I wonder how many of these are going to be this detailed. If you look at the Hermione one, there's all these names written into the door. This is
that's awesome.
that, like, you didn't see in the movies, and you just didn't picture unless it was described in the book. As far as I know, this wasn't described. The doors weren't described this way. But J.K. Rowling's name is hidden in there, which I think is a little hokey, but whatever. But then there's Moody, there's Riddle.
Yep.
It's just really cool. So when you read these books, you're going to be able to stare closely at these illustrations and pick up some little Easter eggs.
It's really nice. It's a new visual representation of the books, and I hope they stay very far away from the movies. Not just because I don't like the movies, but just because to give us a different, take.
Now,
Yeah, I love this idea
Yeah.
for new audiences, new readers, I mean.
Marima?
How is this going to work in like Goblet of Fire or Order of the Phoenix when the book is already like several hundred pages?
Andrew and I talked about this.
Yeah,
Like-
Are they going to split it?
Goblet of Fire, part.
Part 1. Part 2.
I don't know. That's a good
The
question.
novel.
It makes you wonder. I mean, these books are going to be released a year apart, which is a bit of a bummer, but that tells you how many illustrations are going to be released in each book.
Yeah.
It means a lot of time to work on all these. This is one guy working on all these, as far as we know.
Do we know how expensive these things are going to be?
No.
I
I
bet
would
they're
guess a
expensive.
little
Oh
more.
yeah, that would be a good indication of like size.
Yeah, because then we'll know like how many thick pages of pictures, because they're probably using different pages or paper.
Yeah. I wonder, like, is it going to be really nice quality paper that...
That's what I'm thinking, because look at the quality of the picture.
Yeah, like that Hermione one.
For the images, I'm sure.
You can't get
Yeah.
picture quality like that on anything but super nice paper.
So, like I said, I think they actually announced a date for this first book. It's October 6th, 2015. And I don't think it's on Amazon yet. I looked when we posted this, but I haven't looked again.
According
Is
to
that-
one of the commenters, it is.
What?
One of the commenters said that it is on Amazon, but I don't know how accurate they are.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
Yeah.
Who wants to guess how much it is according to Amazon?
$20. $40.
$30.
Yeah. I'm
It
thinking.
retails for 40, but
Yes.
Oh.
Really?
I was thinking
get
pounds.
it for 30.
Oh, I was thinking more.
Yeah, I said 30. I win.
Oh, it also has the number of pages. Ooh, I've got a new Hypable story to write later today.
Hype exclusive.
Don't tell
many
people
pages?
this.
So it says 256
I wanna-
pages.
I
But-
wish. How long until
doesn't-
they
Not
come
like-
out with a comic?
What?
That must be like close to what the actual book is, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was looking at the page numbers.
Yeah. 250 sounds about right.
Well, this can't be right because Sorcerer's Stone is 322.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
this
well,
is
maybe it's
depends what-
bigger. Maybe it's like a bigger book,
yeah,
like
'Cause-
in dimensions.
because the placeholder art is
Yeah.
actually like this wide-looking book.
Yeah.
Oh, I assumed it would be bigger than like a novel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here we go.
General assumption, because you can't get this level of detail.
Yeah.
100 illustrations. It says right there on Amazon.
Oh,
That's a lot.
That's incredible.
that's like, what are there, like 12 or 13 chapters in that book?
That's a good question.
So
Oh, they're way more.
per book at least. That's insane.
It's a short, isn't that a short one? I thought that was like a
30 chapters. Hold on.
Philosopher's
But
Stone.
grab the book right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now we go
Selena, report back.
Over
Okay,
100
just give me a
illustrations.
minute.
Wow.
lavishly
17 chapters.
full.
17.
I was wrong.
So what's
What
that?
did you say, Andrew?
Illustrations a chapter?
Yeah, 4-ish.
4?
3 and point something.
Wait, let's do the math. 100 divided by
Oh
7.
no, 6.
5
No,
point.
it's like over like 5.
Yeah. That's
Guys,
Yeah, you're right.
20
You're
and
right.
like 5
Simple
and then some with
maths.
6. Yeah.
it's
All right.
almost 6. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. All right. So we're all very excited. First on Hype, unless it's on another Harry Potter site, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that at all.
Yeah. Actually, I don't see
I don't
it on.
believe any Harry Potter. Andrew Sims writes it, so.
It doesn't
Ooh.
exist unless he
Yeah.
writes it.
I don't mean to brag, but
Or Selena.
Hype is the best Harry Potter site.
No, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, I don't see this on another actively updated Harry Potter fan sites. All right, I'll work on that after. Let's
Well,
continue.
we'll see you guys
that
later.
makes
Bye.
sense. If it's a,
Yes,
Yeah.
breaking news. This is why you
if
listen
it's
live.
a big book, yeah, that makes sense. I'm so excited. I'm gonna buy all of these,
Me too.
and I hate
Especially
new
now that
editions.
they're not $100. I was thinking they'd be like $80.
Oh no.
Just after seeing like the Hermione one, I was just like, God, how are they gonna put this? How many? 100 of these?
I think the newer ones
That's
could.
insane.
Well, yeah, but if like Philosopher's Stone is retailing for $40, then
Yeah.
they're gonna get more expensive as they.
I want the poster versions.
I don't think they're gonna get a lot more expensive though.
No, I wouldn't. I would expect them to be a little more though, because if it's a bigger book, like more expensive paper, more pages,
You're right.
Yeah, I
you're gonna
guess it
get
always
more than
seems like
100
whenever
illustrations. I'm sure you'll have
big
more than
illustrations.
100 illustrations.
books are super expensive, but I guess they've got to keep it under a certain price point for kids.
So
Yeah.
that's true. So let's move on.
Okay.
The interview, I just wanted to mention, since we talked about it a lot last episode, it has been released after all. Sony was really all over the place. They decided to pull it with no further plans, making it sound like it was scrapped entirely. And then they decided to release it in small theaters and online. This is where they really started getting their act together. They released it really quick on Christmas Eve. A lot of people are expecting Christmas Day, like it was supposed to come out in theaters. They released it Christmas Eve. I watched it with my family.
I
It's
did too.
30
It was funny.
Yeah, it's a very funny movie.
Yeah.
And just the other day, they announced the Freedom Edition, which is going to have 14 deleted scenes and some alternate takes. So
Yeah, they're already getting the Blu-ray out quick.
yeah, it comes out next month.
Yep.
February
They
14th.
did a good, like they did. It was good that they released it, but the whole thing was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they did an
only
about
released
face.
Yeah,
Like,
they do
with the
only decided to release it because they realized that the fallout of not releasing it would be a lot worse.
Yeah. I mean,
And I'm glad
Yeah.
that I'm hearing they're getting most of their money back because I think that it was a shame that they got caught up in all that craziness.
and just in hindsight, the whole thing is crazy. Like pulling it for like the big theater chains pulling out.
Yeah.
Tony saying,
Well,
well,
I think it would have made 100 mil plus if it was in theaters, and now they're only making like what 60 million maybe.
maybe. I do think that threat would have affected turnout, but I don't think that means they should have pulled it. So, like I said at the top of the show, Marima and I created these articles, the headlines we do want to see in 2015, and the headlines, please, gosh, no, we don't want to see these. Which should we start with?
Oh, which should we start with?
Which of the two?
Let's go with yours first. 10 headlines we're terrified of reading.
Okay, so terrified of reading. John Lasseter, this is a quote from him. By the way, we're making Toy Story 5 and Toy Story 6 as well. I can see this happening because they're going to set up.
Didn't this already happen? One of them already happened? The Toy Story 5? No.
Toy Story 4.
4? Yeah, maybe that was it.
4.
But, you know, Toy Story 4 will probably set up a new set of films, potential films.
They're not going to stop, sadly.
No, they're not. Here's the one. People thought that they do want to see this. Lionsgate announces the Hunger Games prequel following Finnick in the 65th tournament.
I really want to see that. Oh my god. They talked about doing more movies. I really want to see it. The prequel stories.
This is probably going to happen, right?
I mean,
Like prequels in general for the Hunger
they
Games?
have said that they're going to do more Hunger Games movies. So, I mean, the Finnick, Johanna, yeah, they said that last year. So, the Finnick, Johanna, Haymitch games is an obvious place to go.
I don't think they said that. I think they hinted that they would consider it. No.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was like a rumor thing.
Yeah. But it makes perfect sense, especially a major character like Finnick, which people, they already really like Finnick, you know, looking at his origin story, so to speak, would be really interesting.
And seeing the other games as well, because the games are what people sort of get, not excited about, this wrong word, but you know.
Killing children.
Hey, yeah! Battle Royale!
Stories after the events of Mockingjay, but they could go back and do so many films there, but they may have to get Suzanne Collins on board. I mean, they would definitely have to, I think. And then, of course, they would have to come up with a story that's worthy of the Hunger Games franchise.
Yeah, the nice thing is you already have the audience, and you have a lot of them that care about these side characters now that are big enough that I think you could do something like this.
Suzanne Collins could write the screenplay.
Like you said, having Collins on is probably the only thing they'd have to do to get this done.
Yeah, because if she's not gonna write the books versions of these other games, then she should.
Or approve the script, then they just won't. They can't do it.
Some other headlines I wrote: Warner Brothers, Peter Jackson reunite for the Lord of the Rings reboot. It's possible. Look at Spider-Man. That only took 10 years.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
God.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Peter Jackson just needs to do some new movies. Yeah. I swear, he used to be a good director. I don't know what happened.
Another headline.
3D happened.
Yeah.
Another headline. Ant-Man review. This thing is complete trash.
Yeah. I can totally see this being true.
The Late Show.
I like the Harry Potter.
He's just not funny anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
What about the Harry Potter one?
The Harry Potter one. Oh, J.K. Rowling announces Harry Potter in the encyclopedia, but it's only on Potter.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I read, and I was like, no.
That's everyone's worst nightmare.
What we did is we created these and took screenshots of the website, quote unquote, so that it looks like these were published on Hypable. So that's part of the fun of reading these.
Yeah, these are good
articles. So then going over to Marima's, these are the headlines we do want to see. It's official. Sony sells Spider-Man to Marvel. Character will appear in Civil War. This one we kind of
just wrote this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lionsgate. We changed our minds. Allegiant won't be split into 2 films.
Yes.
We'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Now, this could, in theory, happen if Insurgent doesn't do so well at the box office, and they realize, oh, we don't have enough to sustain 2 films.
Yeah.
We don't have an audience to sustain 2 more films, but we do for 1 more. And
yeah, I guess the re-edit could fix that.
the other reason I find this feasible is that they announced that Robert Schwentek is going to come back for for Allegiant Part 1, but they wouldn't confirm him for Allegiant Part 2, which is really bizarre because...
Who is he?
He directed Insurgent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nobody really knows him other than...
No one cares.
Just the director.
It's just strange that he is... he's only signed on for Part 1, or they only want to announce Part 1 right now.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Another headline: Marvel adds Black Widow movie to Phase 3.
If only. That will never ever happen.
But they've got Captain Marvel. That's their way of appeasing everybody for now.
Oh yeah, great.
Official.
Nice.
The Gilmore Girls are reuniting for a movie.
Oh.
Do people really
Oh
want...
my god. Yes? Are you joking?
I just started watching
That's like-
Gilmore Girls, and it's amazing.
That's like the one that people started going crazy about as well. They were like, Gilmore Girls. I was like, alright, guys.
I know the Gilmore Girls are a hit, but like sometimes it's not always the best idea to do a movie after a show. Like,
Well, okay, so the quick recap. The reason people want Gilmore Girls movie is like, obviously because there's all the buzz from it being put on Netflix, but because the creator of Gilmore Girls left before the final season, so people feel like the characters didn't end up where they should have ended up, and so they want a movie from the original creator to like fix it, as it were, Veronica Mars style. So
okay.
yeah.
Another headline. These are fake headlines, in case anybody's tuning in.
Sure.
George R.R. Martin finally sets the Winds of Winter release date.
I think I saw in your article someone said the headline we're most terrified of reading is George R.R. Martin dies, like without finishing Game of Thrones. I was like, oh, so morbid, but so true.
He got angry when somebody tried to suggest that that's a possibility last year, I remember.
People do make that joke a lot. I mean, it must be kind of...
What are the chances, you guys think? Like,
well, if he
percentage-wise?
wrote them faster.
He's 66.
No, not that he's going to die or anything.
Sorry.
No, what
Let's make a poll.
this year?
Yeah.
That he what, did you ask?
What's the chance, do you think, that he's finally going to set a release date this year?
70%.
Unlikely.
70.
I think it's pretty good. No, yeah, I think it's pretty good. We'll get a release date for like 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Here's another
Yeah.
headline by Marima. J.K. Rowling to author novelization of Fantastic Beasts trilogy. Yes, this is what I
Yes.
I
That'd be-
want this. This is
I
just
really want this.
what I want to happen. I don't care, like, if anyone else does or not.
Beyonce takes time out from being Beyonce for Destiny's Child World Tour.
Yeah.
2 movie reviews here. Star Wars The Force Awakens review. The Force is strong with this one. That's probably going to happen.
Yes.
And
We hope so.
I like this headline for Mockingjay Part 2. Mockingjay Part 2 review. Better than the book.
Yay.
Mockingjay Part 2 wins an
Also
Oscar.
will probably happen.
Yes, probably. So
I
those are
demand that's the headline on Hypable for the film review.
you can write the review. I'll take you
Alright.
screening again.
Yes.
Tell you to write. So that's it for Hype today. I want to also let everybody know that we're going to be going on a hiatus.
Hypable.
Hype.
Oh.
I'm going to be starting up a new podcast. I would share the name, but we haven't announced the name yet.
Ooh, that's
Later this
exciting.
month. And it's not related to Hypable per se, but I'll probably shamelessly promote it on Hypable. We're also going to be starting up MuggleCast again in March with monthly episodes, and everybody here is welcomed on I know Josh used to be a MuggleCast listener. He's been
Oh yeah.
on, so.
Hmm.
So we're gonna be doing monthly episodes of that starting in March. But for now, we're just gonna put this one on hiatus while I start the new podcast later this month and want to figure out what we want to do with this show. So, but when the show does come back, everybody here will still be intact, unless one of you is gonna die like George R. R. Martin does it.
Because
That's horrible.
It's
Sorry.
so morbid.
I thought you guys were totally serious. I was like looking up his age.
Josh,
Love you,
what
George.
are you gonna say? What do you think is the chance of him dying?
Oh.
I was like, well, he's 66. So who knows?
By the
Wow.
inflection of your voice, I think that means you have like $50 on him dying this year.
So
Yeah.
No, I really had no. I was just looking up how old he was. Now I'm embarrassed.
Oh.
So
Good
yeah,
to end hype on that nice cheery note.
yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Well, it's definitely
He's
been
not going to die.
for sure.
everybody dies.
As always, you can go to the post announcing this episode on Hypable to sound off about anything we discussed today. You can call us horrible people for talking about George R. R. Martin dying, or whatever. Maybe because we're putting the show on hiatus, or
My email is at
And I'll be
Andy
like, yes.
at Hypable.com.
Yeah.
and follow Josh at Sims, and then I'm Andrew Sims.
I'm Josh Neely.
I'm Dark Kyle.
I'm Marmalade.
And I'm Selena Wilkin. And my face just gets more and more desperate for every name. Like, when do I go?
Thank you, everybody, for listening. And
Thanks,
we'll
guys.
see you
We'll
in
miss you.
the- I guess I'll say instead of
Bye, everybody.
bye.
Bye.